Hey everyone, this is Marcin Lewandowski and you're watching the TurnedVC Show Season 2. Today we are in snowy Helsinki and we're just about to check out one of the coolest startup events in the world, Slush. Today is packed with amazing guests, technology and a lot of fun. Let's check it out. Here at Slush with the one and only Aino Bergius, the CEO of Slush. Aino, how's it going?
It's going super well. It's the first day of Slush.
Yeah.
The energy it's out there, all the pieces.
Yeah.
You can feel it, but also it's amazing. There is a huge snowstorm happening outside of these amazing Mestagastas Hall, so I'm happy that everyone has actually survived to Helsinki and to Slush.
Exactly, the snowstorm was amazing. Like it's in the morning, I was like, how am I gonna get in the, like is it gonna be paralyzed, the city or something? But no, right? It's a normal thing to happen here in November. My daughter would be amazed by it, like she would totally love it.
Yeah, like that was a bit of something that we ordered for the event because of course it's part of the brand.
Right,
Imagine it would be like sun out there, like
No,
people would
no,
be
like
like,
no one
this
would-
is not what we ordered.
No one would believe it. So speaking about Slush, I know it became this, high energy, iconic event. What's your favorite thing about it that makes you come back year after year?
Yeah, I think like to start with, like Slush is a not-for-profit led by the team of students and recent graduates. Myself, I started when I was 15. I volunteered first time at Slush. And like I felt like I found a community where like no dream is too big. People were like overly excited about tech, overly excited about building companies. Also like what is the possibility of like building a new company, how that can change the world. And like once finding that kind of a community, like you get hooked. And you can only imagine, you mentioned your daughter, but like imagine what does that kind of a feeling or a community does to a 50-year-old person. Like I could go on going, like came back like year after year, volunteered. Then I went to study, but I wanted to really come back. And then I joined the full-time team and the rest is history, I would say.
Oh, actually when my daughter turns 15, I'm gonna send her over here to be a volunteer and sort of. I think this is a great place to be for her.
Yeah.
I know, speaking about Helsinki, if Helsinki could teach one thing about building a vibrant startup ecosystem to the rest of the world, what would it be?
That's a very good question. I would maybe say that believe in youth, because actually like what is very magical about Slush is that actually like Slush's mission is to help existing founders, but also create new founders. So actually inspire the next generation of building companies. So for example, for all of our volunteers, the number one reason why they come to Slush is to take the first step into a startup ecosystem. Yeah. So actually like everyone here are like all about the community, getting excited about it. But I think like also, Slush is very community-led. So all of our speakers who come to Helsinki, come to Slush, they do it out of a goodwill. They want to give back to the ecosystem. They want to give that hands-on insights to the early stage founders in the audience and help them to succeed in their founder journeys. So it's all about community, helping each other, backing each other up, because we know that building companies is one of the hardest things that you can do.
It is, 100%. And I know, speaking about the value that Slush brings for founders is like one of the biggest values probably, being able to listen to these amazing speakers, have these role models for coming year after year and deliver insightful keynotes. If you could bring one person that has never been to Slush yet, has never been a speaker, who would it be and why?
Very good question. I would maybe say Sheryl Sandberg, who is an ex-COO at Meta and has been part of the company or was part of the company for several years when the very early days of Facebook, but also iconic female in the Silicon Valley. So definitely I think she would be very inspiring speaker to join us one day.
Love it. Let's hope that she's gonna come. Sheryl, if you are listening to us. I know. You turned Helsinki into this startup capital of the North. What's next for you? What's next for Aino? Are you planning to annex Sweden?
That's a very good question. I think Slush is all about being hyper founder focused. Yeah. And I always say that each year's event should be a reflection of the current state of the startup world. We know now that startups are struggling with funding. AI is huge.
Yeah.
What will be next year's huge thing? Like Slush tries to stay on top of the curve and understand the current needs of the founders. So that's definitely something that we pinpoint and put all of our effort. But on top of that, like you mentioned, Sweden, we actually organize dozens of global gathering.
Because slushed,
Slushed.
right? Yeah.
And that takes place all around the world that are events organized by local teams. And what they want to do is to solve the local bottlenecks that the startup face. Because here in the north, here in the Europe, the struggles are different compared to somewhere else. So then the local team gathers the surrounding startup ecosystem together to actually solve the bottlenecks that they face.
Amazing. I know. We're just going to enjoy Slush after this conversation.
Yeah.
Walk around a bit, check the people, check the technology. What should we do? Where should we go now?
Yeah. Two things. Go and watch a stage talk. They're actually built for this audience to inspire, to give advice. I highly recommend to sit down and actually listen for a second.
Yeah.
And the second tip, like I said, this is the most founder-focused Slush we have ever had. More founders, more investors than ever before. So, tip is talk to the person next to you.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much, Aino.
Thank you.
Lovely to be here. Thanks for having us.
Of course.
Yeah, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you.
So we are here at Slush at the venue. As you can see, there's a beautiful food court, and we are with the one and only Julia Hawkins from LocalGlobe. Julia, how are you doing? How's it going?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me again. So good to see you.
Yes, awesome to see you in person as well. Julia, so we're talking about this your story when you were navigating the healthcare system with your daughter. Speaking of technology, of HealthTech, what technology you wish have existed back then when you were navigating these travels?
Well, I think one company that we've already backed as a part of LocalGlobe and Latitude is Oxford Nanopore. And what they're doing in terms of genome sequencing would have been game-changing for me, for my daughter. I think at the moment they're actually doing a clinical trial together with Genomics England where they're basically trialing to see whether they can detect rare diseases very, very early on, so when children are born. And I think that kind of technology would have been a game changer as opposed to this diagnostic odyssey that many rare disease patients go on.
Right. Julia, speaking about personal stories, I know they oftentimes play a crucial role when you invest in founders. What's one of the most amazing background stories that you've heard of a founder that you invested in?
Yeah, well, I mean, every single founder that we back has obviously got a journey, and when we get to know them, I think it's obviously hugely important in terms of how they articulate why they're building, what they're building, and why now. But I think one story really stands out for me, and it's James at CoMind, who we met when he was 17, so he had just dropped out of high school. He comes from a really small town in Yorkshire, which is in the north of England. He's entirely self-taught, and he basically had this insight about how brain signals can be decoded. And he wanted to build a business around that. And the backstory was that basically both his mother's partner had some serious mental health conditions, and that had led him to commit suicide. And there had been some other personal and people that had meant a lot to him that had different things happen to their mental health. And so he was obsessed with understanding how the brain works, and then had basically gone on this big journey to try to understand or to find enabling technologies that can have an impact on brain health. And so it was that journey coupled with the fact that he was only 17, he had this vision, he was going to build the company in SF, He went on to get a Teal Fellowship, which was important for him, but actually he decided to build the company in the UK. And so yeah, he's the kind of founder that we were just dying to work with, and thrilled that we got a chance to partner with him.
This is amazing. I love hearing these stories. Julia, speaking of founders, what's like one trait that makes you go like here, they're gonna go and change the world? What's the one trait that like great founders had in common, no matter where they come from or what they're building?
Yeah, I think founders. I think the one common trait that I see is obviously the ability to communicate. Something that is very close to them, where they've had a depth and years of thinking about something, and that they basically are communicating that in a way that enables you as an investor to understand that very quickly. But not only an investor, but also other potential team members. You're obviously a co-founder. So the ability to communicate is something that I think all founders possess.
Sounds good. Julia, if you were about to create like a HealthTech, like how do you call it? Like a starter pack? Yeah, for HealthTech founders, what 3 things would it include?
Okay, the first thing I would include is actually a cloud. And it would enable the founders to have this in their backpack, to look at it and to remember the big vision that they have, to maintain this feel of both positivity as well as maintaining the reason why they started this company in the first place. I think it's really important to think big and to hold on to that, because you're going to have a lot of setbacks. I think the second thing that I would include is a thesaurus, and the reason being that in healthcare, you're often building companies that have very multidisciplinary teams that often don't speak the same language. And so having a way to unite these people in whether it's a common language or enable them to communicate effectively with each other. So teams that either don't understand what a protein is or don't understand what an LLM is can actually find a way to communicate together. And then finally, I would include a sword. And the reason why is because I think as a founder, you're constantly battling against the status quo, and there are lots of walls that you have to basically battle through. And so I think just the image of a sword is something that I think every founder needs, and obviously sword is no good.
I love it.
In the hands of a coward.
This is amazing. I love it, Julia. And maybe that's gonna be the last one for you. What are you the most excited about when it comes to HealthTech?
I guess the question that you were thinking about is it new therapeutics, or is it access to healthcare?
That's exactly the one.
And I think for me, both of those are important, and I would love there to be better, for example, better antibiotics, or new types of therapies that are revolutionizing, or that are able to solve very difficult diseases. Of course, I believe in that, but actually, I think it's early detection. So it's neither one of those areas where I spend most of my time. I think most about early detection, because I think
so important.
Because I think it can have a profound impact, not just in terms of the economy. If you think about the cost of detecting cancer at stage 1 as opposed to stage 4, but also lost productivity. And so that's why I think early detection is the biggest problem that we need to solve.
I totally agree. Julia, what's next for you? What's the most exciting thing you're looking forward to currently?
So I'm excited about the next couple of days at Slush. I'm catching up with a lot of investor friends and new investors and also founders that are here. So I can't wait to make the most of my time here.
I know that just now you're about to have a call with a founder that you want to invest in.
Yes, I'll tell you more next time.
How exciting this is. Yeah, let's not reveal too much. I'm looking forward to hearing how that's gonna unfold. And thank you so much for taking the time again. And it's so lovely to meet you in person. You're the best. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, we are at Beer, or as Germans call it, Bia, and we are just about to enter one of the coolest side events during Slush organized by 10x Founders, and we're just about to have a conversation with GP of 10x Founders, Jan Reichelt. Let's check it out. Hey man,
Hello, how are you?
good, welcome, good to see you, thanks for having us. Hey guys, we are right here with Jan Reichelt from 10x Founders. We are at the place called Beer, or as Germans call it,
Beer.
Bia. And Jan, thanks for having us. I'm super excited to have you on the show. You're hosting some amazing side event here. Maybe you can tell us more about it.
Sure. I think the background is really that we're a very network-driven investor. So whenever we have the opportunity to bring people together, to talk, to do co-investments, I think we'll try to do so. And that's the heritage of 10x Founders. We've always co-invested with other people as angels, and we're implementing that as a fund. And in order to co-invest together, you need to bring people together and then create a magic of many.
I know that you've been on both an entrepreneur and an investor, now VC. What's harder, building a billion-dollar company or explaining what a GP does to your old daughter?
Well, I guess the most difficult thing is really building a billion-dollar company and explaining that to your daughter or family or friends for that matter. I think few things really in business, at least, compared to the challenge of trying to build a company and what it means going through those extreme highs and extreme lows as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Awesome. Jan, I was actually thinking that you're going to say that, not too many things compared to the challenge of raising a child, but that's another topic. Jan, tell me, I know that 10x Founders back bold founders. What's the boldest pitch you've ever seen, and what made it stand out?
I'd say the boldest pitch I've seen in the last, let's say, 2 or 3 years is the pitch of Xana.ai, which is a company we eventually ended up investing in.
Yeah.
And the promise of Xana effectively is turning your body into a huge network, or maybe even a computer at the end of the journey.
All right.
So they're building little chips that transmit data via your body. So you're effectively turning your body into a conductor of sorts.
That's amazing.
And you can shake hands and transmit data by shaking hands, and that obviously has huge applications.
This is crazy.
In medicine. When you think about all the wearables, you have your mobile phone, maybe you have glasses, you have your smartwatch, and then using your body to transmit data between those devices, I think is incredibly exciting.
This is pretty sick. I love it. I love where technology takes us, and what's so many things we can solve it with technology. And Jan, what's again one mistake that even seasoned founders making, and how do you help them get through it?
Also there, as a matter of example, maybe two examples, because it's hard to narrow this down to one. One would be, we've seen recently a lot of founders trying to jump on trends and trying to beef up their message by appearing trendy. Biggest example obviously is AI, right? Another example would be everything around ESG and sustainability. And they muddle their message, the real problem that they want to solve, by just throwing in lots of keywords that they think get investors excited. In our case, since we're not trend investors, we always look at the substance. Yeah. So this probably turns us more off than it makes us interested. And then the other piece is what I consistently see, and I'm not sure if that's ever solvable, is really not considering that fundraising always takes longer than you anticipate. So it will usually always be more difficult to fundraise. Yeah. And so usually what we say on ask founders right from the beginning is, okay, what's your plan B? Because how do you survive if things don't go according to plan?
Got it. Jan, I know that you say that being an entrepreneur is not a job, it's a lifestyle. What's one habit that you would advise founders to implement in their life to make the ride sustainable?
Well, I would say it's important that you are able to combine your private life with your work life.
Yeah.
Because as an entrepreneur, I feel I at least have never differentiated between work and life. Work was my life. And so it was always very important to balance out the traditional work aspects with my private life, which would be, taking care of friends, meeting them, doing exercises, sports, traveling, and not focusing too much on just thinking you need to work in the traditional sense. And often I had lots of good ideas, once I was traveling or exercising. And so really trying to find a healthy lifestyle, because entrepreneurship for me is a lifestyle rather than the choice of a job. And so that's how I've tried this in the past. And again, that would also be my advice to any entrepreneur that's starting to do a business now.
Yeah, amazing. Jan, thanks so much for having us. We're gonna hit to the next location.
Yeah.
It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you. Enjoy your pretzels.
Thank you so much, man. Hey everyone, we are at Slush and we are with the one and only Laura Modiano. Laura, how's it going? Laura, by the way, is the startup lead for Europe at OpenAI. Just for the reference, Laura, how's it going?
Great, it's such a pleasure to be here. I love Slush. Slush is one of my favorite events at conferences of the year. It has some of the best founders and investors, both from Europe and across the globe.
Yeah.
There are some of the customers that I work with who are here that have founded their companies in Europe and have become global successes.
Yeah.
We just bumped into 11 Labs founder
Exactly.
Matti.
If you're watching, you have to come to the show.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome, Laura. So maybe you can tell me and us and everyone more about what you're doing at OpenAI. Already make a short intro for you, but you can.
Of course. So I'm Laura Modiano, and I lead startups and our VC business in EMEA for OpenAI, which means I work with investors, founders, and startup businesses that are using our API to build. They're building some amazing stuff, and we're hoping that these startups become global successes as they build here.
Amazing. So, OpenAI is reshaping or creating new entire industries. But what was the first time when, AI amazed or surprised you personally?
Thank you. That's a great question. I think AI is actually an amazing technology for everyone, no matter where you are, how old you are, or what it is that you do. There are use cases and applications in every aspect of our lives today. For me personally, the most amazing moment was there was this one day where my 8-year-old daughter was using ChatGPT to ask questions about a book she was reading. So she had read a book and she had questions about it. So she kept asking ChatGPT about why it was dramatic, why the character did what they did, what happened, and then she really started engaging with the content. So the content really got to come to life for her. It wasn't just a book that she read, but something that she got to make a friend out of. And on the same day, my 64-year-old mother, who is not able to figure out how Google Maps works on her phone, and frankly, she's had an iPhone for 18 years now, has built a business that is she's a real estate agent in Athens, where I'm from, selling to international clients, and she's managed to do it by using ChatGPT.
This is amazing.
And building content and contracts, etc., for international customers. So in one day, my 8-year-old and 64-year-old mother have both benefited and really changed how they interact with technology, content, and their lives every day.
I love it. I really love it. What's one thing about AI, or one misconception that people have about AI that drives you nuts?
Thank you. So as the lead for startups in EMEA for OpenAI, the one thing that really drives me crazy is that people assume or have this perception that AI is a technology that's developed in the US and is really far away from us here in Europe. Whereas actually, first of all, I have the joy to work with unbelievable startup founders and investors here in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. But the technology that I see being created here is just at a global scale and level of quality that I think is absolutely on par with Silicon Valley. The other thing is that even for us at OpenAI, I'm in the London office, and in my office in London, we have the technical lead for GPT-4o and 4o Mini, and some amazing researchers. So research, technology, founders, the whole ecosystem is not something far away in Silicon Valley, but it is right here in our homes in London, Paris, Helsinki, Stockholm, Amsterdam, all across Europe. Wherever you turn, you find some amazing innovation, amazing technology, amazing founders that I'm excited and passionate about working with every single day.
And we can clearly see that. This is so awesome. Laura.
I feel very fortunate for
yes.
it. Yes.
Yeah. This is amazing. How actually? Where do I apply? I want to work for OpenAI as well.
Just go on our website and see what jobs are on a career page. We welcome everyone from applications.
Amazing. Laura, speaking of startups and founders, like everyone wants to, build in AI now and AI-powered businesses. What do you advise founders do to kind of stand out? And what do they have to get right to stand out in this crowded space?
Be technical. In today's world, whether you are a startup that is getting founded today, whether you were founded 2 years ago post ChatGPT, or 5, 6, 7 years ago, you really need to understand how technology works and how to use technology to your advantage. You, at the same time, and as much as you have to be business oriented and understand your customer, the business points and the pain points that you're solving, you really also need to understand how technology is going to achieve your business goals. So you might not be the CTO or CTO level, you might not be the most gifted at coding or whatever else, but you do have to find ways to understand that so that you can direct your team to build with technology what it is that you want to do for business so that you can bring that value to your customers.
Yeah. Amazing. So this was, I actually wanted to ask you if you had to send one message to founders in Europe, what would it be? But I guess this would be probably the message, like just be technical.
Be technical. And the thing is, if you're not technical today, I would not recommend, go and get a PhD, go to university, do a Coursera or Udemy or whatever other platform you like. Everyone is welcome for learning. You can just go to ChatGPT and say, this is the specific area that I just want to learn more about. Even myself, when I wanted to learn certain things a bit more deeply, I went to ChatGPT and I said, I want to learn how to code XYZ, and then I want a learning plan for 30 days. And it literally gave me a 5-day by 5-day plan, what it is that I should learn, and actually created exercises for me. So if I can do it, everybody else can. And if you're a founder and you have such a clear use case in mind, you need to just fill in gaps. You don't need to learn everything. Your time is very valuable. You just need to be able to talk to your team, to the CTO, all the way down to the more junior people who are working on it, to know that you can audit the work, that you can ideate with your team, and to welcome the opinions of everyone. So I always recommend have everyone in the organization use ChatGPT and other AI tools to take part in this ideation and creation, because they have touch points with your customers internally, externally. So bring them into that process. Technology is here for everyone, whether it's your staff or how to bring value to your customers.
I love it. So insightful. Laura, imagine it's 2030 and AI is implemented and a part of everyday's life. Everyone actually is everywhere. So what positive change would you like to see by then?
So interestingly, I just had a conversation with this fantastic founder who's based in Stockholm. And he was giving me a demo of this startup that was saying how everything you do, rather than having to go somewhere else to find answers for what you need to do next, it will automatically give you the next step and recommend. And that wasn't just one business application that he was showing me, but I think AI has the potential of doing this everywhere and seamlessly integrate in your life. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, everything that can sometimes be painful or difficult can be resolved or better because we have AI. So actually having the tools to just figure out where there is waste, where you can be more efficient, more productive, and allow for those tools to integrate in your life, personal, professional, with friends in entertainment, etc., means that we can stop wasting time in doing things we don't really want to do, use those tools, and really focus back on enjoying life. If you want to spend time with your kid, your friends, just watching TV and playing games, whatever it is you choose to do, what you take joy out of, just focus on that, and whatever is repeatable and taking time away by doing things that you don't really want to, let AI be your friend and your helper to focus back on the joys of life.
I love it. Everyone, clap for Laura. It's a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.